Starting with my last video, TimeOut, Google, I need to explain something. In the last video that I did about you, I announced that I was going to prove to you that you could hire me. But then on February 27th, Oscar night, Sunday, something happened. My mom was having one of her usual dinner parties, and I met a Google engineer there. I've been planning to do this YouTube thing for like an year now. And then in December of 2010, I went and decided I should ask Google for a job. So when February came along and I met the Google employee, it was almost like this wasn't some weird coincidence. It was almost like it was supposed to happen. And knowing this, I went and started to ask him tons and tons of questions of what it's like to work at Google. And then I started to understand like the caliber of what kind of people you go and hire there at Google. You see, when it comes to my mom's dinner parties, if it's not all Asians, the majority of them is going to be Asians. And that Google employee, he was Asian. But he wasn't the typical Asian that I go and meet at those parties. So the typical Asians that I meet at these dinner parties, they're usually just very quiet. It's just, the dinner parties are, they're boring. They're very boring. It's just not very engaging. I'm not very interested in what they're saying or what they're doing or what they're eating. So when it came to this Google employee, even though he's Asian, when I asked him a question, he actually went and like thoroughly answered my question. Like to the point where like, holy crap, you have done your homework. You know what you're talking about. He didn't go and give me one word answers like all the usual guests give me. And then we got on the topic of communication skills, in which he talked about in order to go and get a job at Google, you have to go through this interview process. And he said that communication skills are very important in order to go and get the job. And what he showed me on what kind of employee he is, how he went and answered my questions. Oh wow, he went and reminded me how far I have to go, how far I need to go in order to even get to the point where I could even think I could get a job at Google. Ooh. So even though I had every intention to go and prove to you that the ideas that I have were good enough to go and get a job at Google, the conversation that I had with that Google employee told me that, oh wow, I'm so not ready. I still need to work on my communication skills and my speaking ability. I mean, if you watch this video, I'm pretty sure you can see a bit on the fact that I'm not a very good communicator, and that I stumble a lot when it comes to speaking. He just went and reminded me that I really need to work on being able to convey my ideas in speech form before I could ever prove anything to you, Google, that you should ever hire me. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, can I tell you of what I originally wanted to say in this video? Google, I need to give you some background information. Google, when I said, okay, more like pleaded, that I need a job, I said that because I am 26 years old and I'm still living with my mom and her husband. And it's been like this for 4 years now. I originally planned to do a video explaining all the reasons on why I even thought of asking you for a job, but that just would have been a lot of whining. Plus, 26 years old, living with my mom and her husband. Does more need to be said on why I even thought of asking for a job? And that it's been like this for 4 years? No, I don't think I do. So let me just move on and tell you why I even thought I would be a good fit for Google. It has everything to do with YouTube. Now, I know I'm not going to explain this well, but let me try. For 4 years now, I've been using your site. I've seen your progress, your growth, the way that you've changed, and ever since April of 2010, the direction that you've been taking your site, I think you forgot about the sense of community. I think you forgot what made you great. The fact that you took broadcast yourself off your logo tells me that the direction that you're taking the YouTube site, it's not living up to your best potential. YouTube, what made you great was the fact that anyone with a video camera and a computer could upload a video and tell a story. The fact that you refocused on monetization and profitability, in the long run, YouTube, if you're going to take your site in that direction, that's not the thing that's going to make you great. The potential in you is great, but you're not using it. Now, I understand that you have to make money. You got to pay bills. But I personally think that you can do it in a better way by utilizing the community. YouTube, you never told them to step up. You never went and challenged them. You never forced the cream to rise to the top. I think that your community, the potential in them is great, to the point where it can make you great. But you never told them to step up. You never asked them to help you be great. YouTube, I want to see you succeed. I want to help you succeed. I don't want you to fail like all the other internet companies that have failed over the years because they didn't know how to monetize themselves or they didn't understand their community. YouTube, it was because of you that I saw Asian faces. More Asian faces than I ever saw on my TV screen. YouTube, because of you, I understood the sense of community. YouTube, I want to help you see the potential that you don't see in yourself. I want to help you refocus. I want to help you be great. Better than the direction that you're taking your site in. And that's in focusing on people instead of your sponsors. I have spent the last 3 months planning out videos where I was going to show you the potential you're missing within yourself, YouTube, and the new direction that you should be taking it instead. And second, why I have valid enough ideas where you should hear me out. I've drafted in notebooks. I've even drafted on note cards. And in here. I've even drafted on sticky notes. All the while trying to figure out how to best prove to you, Google, that you should hire me. But then the encounter with the Google employee made me have to change my plans. I slowly started to understand that I needed to focus on me first. I couldn't focus on you trying to get a job at Google if my communication skills still needed work. For the next 2 months, that will be my focus. But one last thing before I finish this video. And why am I going for a job at Google when all my ideas are for YouTube? Well, why reach for the sky when you can go for the moon? Google, you are YouTube's parent company, with a whole lot more revenue at your dispense. Plus, I'm not even sure if YouTube is that profitable right now. So I'm going for a company that has enough money to have options, that can take risk or experiment. I'm going for a company that is more willing to hear me out. Because the one with all the money is also the one with all the cards. Google, I want to help you refocus the vision that you have for YouTube. And that's the job I'm going for. But ultimately, Google, what I'm asking for is not a job. I'm asking for a meeting. Because all the ideas that I have for YouTube, I can't sum up in this one video. I can't even sum it up in multiple videos. It's just going to take me too long. So, Google, I know it seemed like I was asking for a job, but honestly, what I was really asking for was a meeting. Because in a meeting, you can ask me questions. While in these videos, I'm not sure I'm getting my point across. I'm not sure if I'm conveying the ideas that I have for YouTube to make it better, to make it great, well enough where you can believe me when I say you're missing the greater potential that YouTube can be. Google, in the age of new technology, social networking is the future. But I don't understand why you're developing programs like Google Buzz when the social network that you should be focusing on is YouTube. Right now, Facebook is the company to beat. And Google, I know you're threatened by them. But you don't have to be. You can beat Facebook by using YouTube. YouTube has something Facebook doesn't. The ability to tell a story. Facebook might have tons of users, but it's YouTube, if you use the tool right, can achieve dreams. I would need to explain this, but this video is starting to get long, and I don't want to start to get incoherent because I gave you too much information to process. Google, this is why a meeting would help. So, can I break this up? Thank you. See you in part 2, or watch more at my Google YouTube series playlist.